Professor Ningamma Betsur madam for this session. Professor Ningamma Betsur madam has completed MSc Psychology, MSc Mathematics, MEd, PhD Education. Madam has served as in-charge Vice Chancellor in the University of Mysore. She also worked as syndicate member, University of Mysore, and she also worked as a chairperson, Department of Studies in Education, University of Mysore. She served as a Dean in Faculty of Education, University of Mysore. Madam has 28 years of teaching experience in the field of education. Madam has successfully guided 18 students for PhD degree. Madam has also completed 12 projects, 9 as principal investigator, 1 as team leader, and 2 as team member. Then, Madam has published 50 articles and given invited lectures around 3. She also presented seminars in international, national, and state level. She also served as a resource person in seminar, conference, workshop around 73. She also attended 103 seminar and workshop. She worked as a coordinator of refresher courses also. Then she also worked as external member, Research Advisory Committee, Department of Studies in Education, Karnataka State, Akkamahadevi University, Vijaypura. She also worked as member of Institutional Development Planning Committee, University of Mysore. She worked as nodal officer in Inter-University Center of Teacher Education, RIE, Mysore. She worked as a chairperson, Board of Studies in Education, Bangalore, North University, Bangalore. She worked as a chairperson, Board of Examiners in Education, Bangalore, North University, Bangalore. And also chairperson, Board of Studies of Education, Bangalore City University, Bangalore. She also worked as a chairperson in Department of Education, University of Mysore. Then she also worked as chairperson, Board of Studies in Education, University of Mysore, and Board of Examiners in Education, University of Mysore. Then she also worked as a member of Third Sector Research Resource Center, University of Mysore. She also worked as a member of Affiliation Committee, Gulbarga University, Kalburgi. Then she also worked as a member of Governing Council, Yuraja College, University of Mysore. She also worked as member of Doctoral Committee, Department of Studies in Physical Education, University of Mysore. Then she also worked as chairperson in Department of Studies of Education, University of Mysore from March 2014 to February 2020. And she also worked as Monitoring Academic and Assessment Committee as a member. At present, Madam is working as a professor in Department of Studies in Education, University of Mysore. On behalf of HRDC Mysore and all participants, we welcome you for this session, ma'am. Welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you, Prashant.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning, all the friends.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
Morning, ma'am.
So, I think NEP is the one which is being talked about a lot, right? And of course, we as the students at higher education, we have been focusing on at higher education. But of course, our children are tomorrow's citizens. So let us see how NEP focuses upon our young students, our small children. Now that too, the pre-primary education, which was not official, like we were just saying, sending the wards to the schools, to the play homes, but now it's becoming, it's being included in the formal education system. So let us start from there. let us focus more on that pre-primary and then see how it can be taken to other levels. So today let us see what NEP says about foundational literacy and numeracy. Of course, at the very outset, I think this foundational literacy and numeracy being combined is something interesting, because we had all these days language differently and mathematics differently, but now both seem to be combined here, right? If I switch off the video, will that presentation be still clear to them, or will it be having the same scene? Okay. Okay. So, of course, early childhood is a critical period of development, and it is the period where maximum development is taking place. So, let us see how these two are very important skill areas which are developed during this period. And literacy and numeracy development begins in the first 3 years of life. Of course, the moment child takes its birth, it starts looking at trying to grasp the word, and numeracy and literacy starts there. Of course, the language for numeracy for the child at that time may be different. And it's, of course, the child learns at every moment of life through these daily communications, thoughts, and drawings. Okay, so let us see how it goes on. Now, parents and the home learning environment and interactions of young children with literacy materials like these books, papers, crayons, or the building blocks for the development of language, reading, writing. Okay. So now, friends, let's have the dialogues on these. Do you agree that even the parents, the home learning, books, all these will help the child to gain some knowledge, to acquire some knowledge? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you give me one example? How that's why we say in Kannada. I don't know whether there are participants from other than Karnataka. Manaye modala parta shale. That's what we say. But can you quote an example how it happens?
Yeah, ma'am. Which I have experienced with my child. As a mother, when you teach them each and every word, how to pronounce it in a bits and parts, so they will learn the pronunciation better. And what I have means experiences when I would like him to learn the counting, the fingers, 1 2 1 2 and all this, the foundational, that is how his grasps started counting.
Good. Yes, it starts from the parents, especially the mother. Like even the language, okay? First, the child, I think all of us know, irrespective of the language which the child's family speaks, when we show the gesture like this, the child understands that it is a gesture which indicates that I have to go to them. I think it's a common gesture among all the communities, irrespective of the language. So from there, the literacy begins. That is why even when we speak to the children, the child learns how to speak by looking at the lip movement, whoever is speaking, especially the mother, because the mother will be there with the child for a longer time. So from there, the literacy begins. From there, the counting begins. Of course, the child doesn't know that this is 1, this is 2, but he knows this is more than this. Okay. So from there, actually, it is said, the studies have found out that the children in the joint families catch up the language fast than the children in the nuclear family. Why is it happening? Because of more interactions. when the number of members in the family increase, the interactions also become more. Therefore, the child learns. Therefore, the parents, the home learning environment, because the things I keep in the room, okay? I might have kept a plant for show, but that happens, that becomes a learning experience for my child. The wall painting becomes a learning experience for my child. So the parents, the home learning environment, the books, papers, everything become the learning experience for the child. I think all of us have learned that Piaget's, under Piaget's cognitive development theory, that the first stage is sensory motor stage, where the child tries to learn through his sense organs, that is by touching. When the child touches the object, tries to put it to the mouth, many a time we mistake that the child is trying to eat. No, the main reason is, of course, the child may get some pleasure, but still the child is trying to understand about that object by putting to the mouth. So at that time, as a mother, I will have to provide a home environment which would become, I mean, the things in that environment should become the resource for my child to understand, to get information regarding the colors, the plants, I mean, that is different living beings in the nature, okay? So from there it starts from the birth of the child. Maybe by 4 months or 5 months, the child would start looking around, okay? So actually the understanding becomes, plays a predominant role in the literacy development, more language development. Of course, language development leads to literacy development, okay? Young children are active, energetic, curious, and interested in people, objects, and events around them. So it is my duty as a mother to see that my child interacts with more people. Nowadays, the mothers are not sending the children outside at all. And some mothers are so overtaking that they will not give the mother, their child, for someone to carry also. But this is wrong, because the child learns through interactions, by looking at objects, by the events around them. So as a mother, I will have to see that I provide opportunities for more interactions, that is by having people around in the house, by keeping objects, and by having, some events, so the child learns. So I think like we had joint families, more opportunities were there. The moment I started living in a nuclear family, then the interactions became less. But how I am trying to make it up? By inviting more people. So if I want to keep my child in a closed shell, then the interactions become less. So the learning starts at that stage, friends. So as mothers, as fathers, we will have to create learning environment with more interactions, that is with more people and more objects at home itself. And they actively seek to make meaning of their experiences, and through this, their capacities continuously evolve. Like, for example, the child in the beginning thinks that whatever it comes across is a toy, or whatever it comes across first, before filling it as a toy, the child thinks it is an eatable. From that, the child moves on to it is a toy. But we will have to make the child become aware of that whatever looking like a toy is not a toy, okay? And when I'm using a spoon, the child thinks that it is a toy. But slowly, I will have to make my child realize that it is something which is used for other purpose other than a toy. From there, the child also develops thinking, extends the horizon, and tries to know for what purpose it is used and which are the different things, okay? And children learn by doing and actively using their sensory organs. And as a mother, I'm so overcautious. I feed my child even when he becomes 2 years, 3 years. For two reasons, I start feeding him. One is I want to feed him. I want to see that he will eat the whole thing which is in the plate, which I think that it is required for him. Another thing is my floor becomes untidy. He starts spreading the things. Please stop doing this. We should stop doing this because the child learns about things by spilling around, collecting it back. Though the floor is getting untidy, we should tolerate because the child is learning. When the child is eating by himself, he knows how to balance the things in the spoon, how to put it to the mouth, and see that more things will not spill out from his mouth. So he will understand how much to take in the spoon and how much to eat. So this is how the child learns by doing. Friends, give me an example. I think the last person, Shilpa, you don't answer. I want the others to answer. How the child learns things by doing at home. Though it is informal learning, now at 3 years, we will carry on from there. So even at the age of 2, 3, 4, how the child learns by doing things.
Best by the imitation, ma'am.
Imitation.
Imitation.
Vikram, be specific.
Yeah,
and my
madam,
question is by doing things.
Okay, I understand, madam, that in a form of informal education, through the signs, symbols, other something showing the matters, madam.
Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes.
One second. One second, ma'am. I have to mute one of the speaker. One second.
It shares the things, madam.
Yeah. I have to mute one of the
Things.
speaker. Yes. I know. I have to mute the speaker because I'm using computer as well as the mobile phone. Okay, madam. Actually, how I have seen is when toy. If you give some toy like car and all, they break the car. Sometimes they break the car and they see the parts. So they do something like this. And they learn, and when you push the car moves forward. So they keep on doing something. At one stage, they understand that if I push, the car is moving forward. One more incident I can narrate from my own experience that my son used to go below the sofa. Okay, that my husband told, don't say no, let him go. Then I was surprised. He went inside and he got hurt. And second time when he was seeing the sofa, and he did not go inside.
And not only that, they will learn how to go inside and come out without getting hurt also next time.
Exactly.
And how much to bend he will learn.
Yes, madam. Yeah. Next time he understood, yeah.
They act like a little scientist, madam.
Yes, sure, really. Like their questions, everything, their imagination is so good. Like in my son's case, what he was doing, he wrote 10. Afterwards, he wrote 1, 2, 3, 4. I got wild, I asked you to write 11, 12, 13. But he had written 1, 2, 3 again. Then he wrote one line. It was on the slate, erased in between. And he told me, Amma, it is now 11, 12. So, of course, it's a mischief. But he has realized that one is there and one can be written in so many ways easily. Again, it is a management. Of course, I cannot allow him to continue, but that imagination, what the child is thinking, should be understood by me as a mother. This happens not only at home, even when they come to, this my son was doing when he was in pre-primary. Now pre-primary is also included officially. So we'll have to learn from there. We'll have to be observant. We cannot just shun the child from doing these kind of things because he is learning. Instead of making him sit there and then mug up 1, 2, 3, 11, 12, etc., we should allow him to learn what language is or what numeracy is through these kind of activities. Okay, so actually here they discover and construct the knowledge through this kind of experience. Like when he goes down the sofa, he knows how much to bend so that he will not get hurt. Or if he is learning something, even when you give him, say, 1 piece of cake, 2 pieces of cakes, he wants 2. And when you make it half, he will try to see how much you are given to his brother. That half will be bigger, he says. So at that time, it is my duty to show that whether I have done equal parts or not. So there he is getting the idea of shape, size, etc. So in each interaction with the people around him, the child is learning, and we should also remember, even through the informal interactions in the Anganwadi level, at Anganwadi level, also in first standard, second standard, that he is trying to learn through these interactions also. So to enable the children understand the basic concepts, we will have to provide them opportunities to explore their environment, manipulate objects. That is, how do we do it? So what I do, I purposely, I keep things, maybe things for show, that of some geometrical shape. You want to say something? Manisha? Did you raise your hands, Manisha? No.
No, madam.
No.
No.
Okay. So I will, even though I keep the things for show, I'll have to see that that would become a learning experience for my child. For example, sometimes we have these wall plates in the increasing order of size or decreasing order of the size. So I will have to choose the things in such a way that instead of putting all equal size wall plates, I will see that I will put them in the order of their size. So when my child looks at it, even in the kindergarten or first standard, all my things in the environment should help the child to understand some concept. For example, I'm telling you that wall plate may be for show, but I'll see that it will be in the increasing order, or they will be having some geometrical shape, or like it will be a 2 lines, 3 lines, closed plane figures, etc. So the child gets to know how from a point, with many points it becomes a line, with 2 lines it becomes an angle, with 3 lines it becomes a triangle. So I will have to choose, and I'll have to give such things for the child so that he will be able to understand the development, how it goes on, like from a point to a straight line, that is collection of many points, then 2 lines an angle, 3 lines a closed figure. Even my show things should be a learning experiences for the child. So we'll have to create such environment. Can I have 1 or 2 examples from you people for choosing the things which would help the students to learn?
Even the dosa we prepare, no, madam.
Huh.
That also in Tamil there is a rhyme. Vatta vatta dosai means it's a round dosa. That also will help them to learn this a circle.
Good. Actually, yesterday I was seeing in some WhatsApp video or news, I think, that a person has made the dosa in the form of this cartoon figure. And of course, there are mothers who are preparing chapatis as ABCD, etc. Even that we are doing, that's okay. And other things in the environment, I want the male participants also to react. You are all teachers. It's not the responsibility of only ladies, friends.
Ma'am, sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Actually, the frames are nowadays available in
Yes.
the number and the letter shapes. So
Good.
that is
Yes.
how they learn very faster that I have eaten A, I have eaten 2, 3 like that. And one more thing, the small jigsaw puzzles of an animal figure, maybe the bird figure and the shapes, the games related to shapes. That is also very much helpful for them for the hands-on experiences to understand the different types of animals as well as birds and even the shapes and all the things, ma'am.
Good. See, all these what we are discussing, it need not be only in the home, because the child comes to Balawadi or Anganawadi or KG, whatever you call, kindergarten school. At that time, even when they come to the school, we should have these things in the environment. Each thing in the school should be chosen in such a way that it becomes a learning experience, right? So that's why we are discussing here, not only at home. Of course, at home also we should do as mothers and fathers, but we are discussing so that we can have it in the school, okay? I want the male participants to react. None of you is suggesting me anything. Prashant, Nagraj, Manjunath, Vikram.
Because mother is the first teacher now.
Okay, you are the second teacher. Now, of course, there is no difference between mother and father. We'll have to change that saying. Mother is not only the mother is the first teacher. There are cases when mother has gone to the work just after a month and father has replaced the mother. Okay. So tell me as a father, now it's not like mother is the first teacher. Both mother and father are the first teachers.
Father teach the child the countings, ma'am.
How?
By giving some chocolates, sharing to
Okay, by giving chocolates. I'm asking Nagaraj, what kind of things should be kept in the vicinity of the child, that is in the Anganawadi or kindergarten, whatever name you call, between 3 to 5, 3 to 6?
Telling stories, ma'am.
Okay, telling stories is for the imagination.
Use of toys for the activities.
I'm asking you what kind of wall paintings or things in the environment, things in the play home should be like.
Madam, shall I give an example?
It should be colorful.
I want it from the
colorful,
boys,
attractive.
men people first. Yes, Vikram?
It should be colorful and attractive, which will create the concept among them.
Okay, colorful, attractive, of geometrical things.
Yeah.
Geometrical shapes. Okay. Sorry, somebody else wanted to give the answer.
Things with different shapes, things with different weights, sizes.
Okay, in the school I'm asking, Harshalata.
Madam, yes, ma'am. Shall I give an answer, madam?
Okay, Aruna.
Madam, by showing the leaves of different geometrical shapes, we can show the plants in the school. We can show the different geometrical faces, shapes to the students.
Can you give me the example of such plants of geometrical shapes?
Madam, no one. If we show the coconut, it is a rectangular shape. Some square shape will be there. Some round shape will be there. their shapes we can give, madam. We can show. So number of croton plants will be there. These croton leaves are different shapes will be there, madam.
Okay, we can have that way even some
Okay.
kind of crotons which
When
have.
we think of venation, angle formation all can be taught, madam.
Yes, madam. Through the
How,
venation.
Suvarna?
Venation will be there, no, madam? That means the leaves. That we can think of teaching angle formation.
Okay.
And Ashoka tree is the best example for cone.
Yes.
Cone
shape.
Cone shape.
Yeah.
Will it be like a cone, Vikram?
Yeah.
Cone.
Like,
Is it a solid?
yeah. Hello?
No, I don't think Ashoka tree leaves are solids. Is
No,
it
ma'am.
a close figure?
Not leaves, ma'am. Not leaves. The tree shape.
Cone.
Tree shape, you can say.
Tree shape.
Okay. So, and also like to get the colors and all, different colors. Of course, later I have an activity where let us take up the activities in the next session. That is using primary colors, how they can do it. That is for the activities. But now what I was telling you was the things in the environment which help them to construct knowledge. Okay. So these are again now come to hands-on experience which help them to understand how things work. Can you give me an example? Hands-on experiences to know how things work.
Madam, maybe given to the child one paper only dotted picture like elephant, and other side cat. So color and that then say the elephant is big and cat is small. So understand the bigger and smaller like this, and color is also there.
Okay, good and good.
At higher level, madam, at higher levels, we can give them different parts of body at one side. When you join the parts of body, then at the back side, you can connect India like.
You can connect the?
Make the complete map of India like that.
Body and India, I think both we cannot put in one piece. But what I'm saying here, we can give them, as you said, different parts of the body and ask him to join. Okay, or different parts of a vehicle and ask him to join. Or we can give him the building blocks. He can understand how the things work. With a few building blocks, he can have a building. But if it becomes more, it falls down. Or the broader ones at the base and the smaller ones at the top, the building can stay. That is, the foundation should be strong. Clear? So this kind of, I mean, you are teaching more than one concept here. We are teaching how the different blocks can be used to make a house and what kind of base should be there to have a building. That base should be broader, base should be stronger. So we are teaching him about balancing also. Okay. Now, at the same child, the children learn in context of relationships. They need the guidance and instructions and also from their peers to move from developmental level, that is from this level to the next level. I give you an example. I have come across a child who was watching TV, and on TV there were some mountains. So there was picture of some hills. Okay. The child looking at that hill, it said, that mountain is there for me to climb. That pond is there for me to drink water. Okay. So now all of us know in the beginning, the child is egocentric. Then the child moves on to the stage of becoming social. Okay. So we can help the child at that stage, that hill is there. On that hill we grow tea. On that hill we grow something else which can be used. Right? So we are making the child realize that the things in the environment are not only for him to consume, but it is to be used by everyone. So we are helping him to move from ignorance to science or to understanding. At the same time, we are making him move from the egocentric stage to the social, becoming social. So friends, now give me examples how as a teacher at that level, you help him to develop to the next level and also understand certain things. I think you got my question. I'm making it, I don't want to just read through. I want you to give me examples. Understood? Got my question, friends?
Madam, what about zigzag puzzle? Means when the child goes to next stage, zigzag puzzle, they will understand how to means make it whatever is given as that shape, they have to prepare using that zigzag puzzle.
Okay.
Like it may be animal. So when you join everything, it comes up to be an animal, something like that, or house or something like that.
Okay, okay, that's also good, Manisha. At the same
Pramila.
time, huh?
Pramila.
Sorry, Pramila, I didn't see.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, Pramila. At the same time, I want you to give me an example in where we take the child to the next stage of development. Like maybe, of course, that's not exactly like the developmental stages according to Piaget, etc. At least one move from the previous stage of development to the next stage. Understood my question, Pramila?
Yes, ma'am, understood.
So anybody, I want you to give me an example. Yes?
Can I try?
Yes.
Ma'am, actually, there is a play set which is available in the market. Almost all child is taking. That is actually for gardening. In which different types of apparatus of gardening is there. So children, maybe in the later age also, they play with it. So by this, we can make them understand how the concepts, how the gardening is being done. That is number one. Number two, along with that, the different types of a soil. Right, then if you have to plant a tree, then the depth of that seeds or depth of the sapling, as well as the watering, how much amount of water is required. And if the child is into a higher order, if they are in the secondary or the upper primary stage, we can even introduce the concept of a fertilizer there. So this is how the hands-on can be taken care of.
Okay, okay. Because at this stage, see, I quote one example when I was traveling maybe some 30 years ago, maybe some 33, 35 years ago. When I was traveling in a train, we had two families in the train along with us. One was a Kerala Christian family, and the other family, only the mother and daughter from a typical Lingayat family from North Karnataka. So what happened when after the train moved, the Kerala couple opened their tiffin box. It had boiled eggs. Then this child from Orthodox Lingayat family started asking the mother why these people are eating vibhuti. I think you got what I said.
Yes, ma'am.
Because this child doesn't know that there exists something called an egg, and that egg after boiling becomes so. And that Kerala family did not understand what this girl is saying, because those people do not know what is Vibhuti. What I am saying here is how the children recognize the shapes and the colors at that stage only. So this thing happened because this child recognized that that is also white color, that is also solid, that is also oval in shape, which is just like the vibhuti which she uses to worship and put it on the forehead. So this kind of misconceptions are there among the children. So, but they do recognize the shape, they do recognize the size, they do recognize the color. Therefore, we will have to take him to the next stage, maybe from the concrete examples to the abstract examples and to the reasoning. For example, we have a narrow tube. At the same time, we have one broad vessel. The volume is same, but the child thinks that the trough or the round one is a bigger one. Sorry, the tube is bigger compared to this circular shaped vessel. So at that time, we'll have to make the child by filling the water in the two and then showing that they're having the same volume. We will move them, we'll help them. Of course, we will ask him to perform that experiment, but with the direction of the teacher. This is how we will move them towards development, right? That will help them for proximal development. Okay? Having identified tasks which are within the child's potential development, the teacher will have to okay, so we will have to help the child. I think we can move forward. That's how we will help them. Now, let us understand the concept of literacy and numeracy as per NEP. Of course, we are all aware of it, but what actually UNESCO says, it defines literacy as the ability to identify, understand, interpret, create, communicate, compute, and use printed materials associated with varying in varying contexts. Okay, literacy is more than the ability to read and write. Can you give me an example to show that literacy is more than reading and writing? Got my question? Got my question, friends?
Yes, madam.
One example. I think many of us have this problem even now. Don't you accept it? Be frank. Many a time we are not able to express what we feel in words. Yes or no?
Yes, madam.
Madam, analysis and interpretation as well.
Good. But basically, Mohammed, we do have this problem. Like, I think of it, but I'm not able to put it in words. Right? We are not able to put it in words. I mean, many marriages fail because of lack of literacy, I feel. Do you accept? I don't know. It's because of the communication problem, we say that is nothing but literacy, right? So, I didn't get the example still. Okay, I know how to read, how to write, but I do not know how to express my ideas, thoughts, and I'm seeing something, but I'm not able to identify. I'm a witness to an accident scene, but I'm not able to identify what might have happened. Okay? But when I'm not able to identify, of course, I'm not able to interpret. At the same time, if a policeman is there, by looking at the things in the environment, he can identify, he can also interpret why this, how this might have happened. That is what literacy. It is not just knowing. So when I am seeing something, I will have to say how this might have happened. I'll have to identify who might have committed the mistake in this accident, right? So if I'm able to identify in that, that is literacy, and whatever I identify, I should be able to interpret. Okay. One joke I will say, one lady asked the milkman why milk is becoming thin day by day, becoming watery day by day. That milkman says, because the cow is drinking more water. This is what literacy is. I am not saying what he is saying is right. One, that is because how he is putting it. Okay. There is one more example, like how people interpret. Ladies are known to be good interpreters. Husband and wife will be watching the movie. Wife would have identified approximately how many colors sari the hero, sari or the dress. Okay, I am from Purana Zamana, so I am giving the example of saris. If it is today's, the girl would be able to identify how many types of dresses the heroine wore, what might be costlier, what might be cheaper, whereas the husband would have just seen the movie or seen the dresses, but not able to interpret, right? And identify how many she had worn, from where she had bought, whether it is new or old, he cannot. And this is where the identification comes. Okay, so we will have to help the children identify, interpret, that is literacy. Okay, it involves knowledge, skills, abilities that enable the individuals to, of course, when you are able to identify, interpret, you'll be able to think critically, etc. All that critical thinking, problem solving, etc. will start from here. But for that, friends, the child should have mastery over literacy. I think you agree. Unless he has literacy, he cannot think scientifically or knowledge. What is numeracy? Numeracy, I think you got the meaning of literacy now. It is not the literacy rate which we speak of. Literacy rate is only whether he can read or write. But according to us, literacy is this, wherein he can identify, interpret, reason out, etc. And what does numeracy means? Numeracy encompasses the ability to use mathematical understanding and skills to solve the problems and meet the demands of the day. Okay? Can you give me an example how mathematics is there in life?
By giving small amount to the student, and a child, we can send it to bring something, and later asking it to, that means functional mathematics it is. Just
okay, functional mathematics, how much it's there?
Yes,
I give you still simpler example.
Yeah, count the coins in a piggy box.
Count the, okay.
Coin.
I'll give you one example. What we do in commonly in day-to-day life. There are two routes, but we take a route which is maybe at 45 degrees, say shortcut route. Is it not application of Pythagoras theorem, though we say that it is Pythagoras theorem? Understood or not?
Yes, madam. Can.
See, we take a diagonal route. If there is an open space, why do we do it? This is mathematics. Suthakondu hogtivi in Kannada we say, that is, we take a roundabout route. What is the meaning of roundabout route? That square on the hypotenuse is equal to the square of both the sides, sum of the squares on the other two sides. We may not say that it is Pythagoras theorem, but we are doing it every day. Okay? We are doing it every day. This is numeracy, where we use it. Okay? I still remember an old lady selling vegetables will say that it is 20 rupees kg. She takes just a second to say how much for it is half a kilo, but we take 2 minutes to do it. How is it possible? Because it is mathematics applied in every, in our daily life, how we calculate. And friends, our rangolis are the best examples of how we use mathematics in day-to-day life. What are those geometrical figures and the ideas? Like I have an angle, over that I have one more angle in my rangoli. Like that, I have 3 successive angles. So, but the distance between each angle in my rangoli will be the same. It will be very symmetrical. This is how mathematics is there. In day-to-day life, this is numeracy. Okay? So, here we will have, when you say this is the shorter route, that is spatial reasoning. Okay? When I try to observe what's happening to the rate of milk, I can estimate what might be the rate of milk after 2 years. This is nothing but how inductively it is going. What is the rate of increase? Is it uniform? If it is uniform, after, this is what we call in Kannada andaj. That is, I need not calculate, but I do it. So this is how that sense of, through our interactions, through that common sense, we are able to identify the patterns, we are able to reason out spatially, we are able to understand the sequence, we are able to understand the pattern, etc. So this should be, the child should get habituated to this kind of reasoning. As we try to compare the children from the rural area and the urban area, we see that their numeracy is high. Whose? Rural or urban?
Rural.
Rural, because they have seen every day. Okay, they have seen every day. I give you an example. One of my relatives' son, he was small, maybe some 2.5 years. In North Karnataka, they sell those plants after they become dry. They use it as fuel. So one person came to load it to the lorry, and he was collecting the dry plants and putting it to the lorry. This child said, you shake the plants before you put it, because lot of manure is there with the roots. So you shake it. so that my papa's manure will remain in my field and it will not go to you. So to that extent, a rural child thinks. But our children, urban children are being used to more mugging than this. I think all of us know what this comedians say. One very beautiful example. If you ask a rural child, what is your name? He says only the name. If you ask an urban child, what is your name? He says with full initials. I am Suresh D. Johnson, etc., etc., and I am studying in this school. Whereas the village child will answer to the point. This child, he has been made, he has habituated to give the full details. So this is where the practicality comes. Our child can identify the figure only if you give the paper and pencil, whereas a rural child, just by looking at it, he can guess. Okay, so we'll have to encourage that. Then, importance of early literacy, and till now I have said how if a child doesn't get the literacy, he cannot identify the things, he cannot interpret how to whatever data science course you put him to. I think you understood. So, for interpretation, both literacy and numeracy are required. Okay, I just quote one example. Very recently I came, there was a research study being conducted on the contribution of Savitri-Bai Phule and some other distinguished lady. Okay, and the hypothesis was there is no significant contribution difference in the contribution of Savitri-Bai Phule and that leader. Is it accepted? Did you understand?
Yes,
My
madam. Yes,
question?
madam. Yes, madam.
Is it right?
No, madam. No.
Why not?
Because their contributions is different from one another.
So you can't quantify it. That is
Quantify it,
where
yes.
numeracy has failed.
Yes,
Okay,
madam.
that is where numeracy has failed. You may know what it is just, you may know what is ANOVA, but basic numeracy, basic literacy is not there. Like which one can be compared, which cannot be compared. So it's very, very important to have literacy because numeracy can be interpreted provided you have literacy. Many a time we cannot say like if the quartile deviation is in this range, then interpret the nature of the group. He knows about dispersion, he knows about standard deviation, but he is not able to interpret it because he lacks literacy, right? He lacks literacy. So this is the importance of literacy and numeracy. So for all advanced learning, even in languages, not only in science and mathematics, literacy and numeracy are first. Literacy is a must as well as numeracy. I think you got the importance of literacy. Many a time, we, the teachers and also the parents, will ignore the language, right? We want him to learn science and mathematics, only science and mathematics. Sorry to say, I used to touch my language books only 2 days earlier to my examination. Sorry to say if there are any language teachers in the group that I did that, but now I have realized what I did was very bad because we will have to, first we have to have the language to explain what I have learned in science and to interpret my results of mathematical problems. What do you say? I mean, literacy, of course, is not what a language teacher says, like all metaphors, simile, etc. But even otherwise, for the basic things also, we require literacy. Okay? Now, the learning crisis. The NEP 2020 highlights that various governmental as well as non-governmental surveys clearly indicate that at the current time, we are in a severe learning crisis with respect to these most basic skills. That is, a large proportion of students currently in elementary school have not attained foundational literacy and numeracy, that is the ability to read and comprehend basic test, that is the ability to carry out basic addition and subtraction. This is the result of study on quality control. Okay. You can see that some children have scored 90. I'm not talking about subtraction and addition, but I'm talking about the literacy. But they are not able to say how that is true. Understood? Like the child gets 100 of 100, but he doesn't know the difference between a solid figure and a plain figure. He doesn't know the difference between the area and the total surface area. Okay, so this is the basic problem. This is the crisis. Therefore, why the bridges constructed by some engineers are falling down today? This is because of lack of foundational literacy and numeracy. That is, the foundation is weak. Therefore, the buildings and the bridges constructed by such engineers are collapsing. This is the rationale for the emphasis on literacy and numeracy. So what is foundational literacy and numeracy as per NEP 2020? That is, foundational learning is the basis, I have explained. Not achieving the basic foundational skill, then I think the child will have complexities in future. I gave you the example that why their bridges are falling, because they don't have the basic literacy. That is, they don't know how to identify which is strong, which is weak, what kind of base should be there, etc. Then recognizing the importance of early learning, NEP 2020 states that our highest priority must be to achieve universal foundational literacy and numeracy in primary schools by 2037. Okay. So this is the background for emphasis on foundational literacy and numeracy. Many a time as parents and as teachers, we start worrying, how come that student has so many marks, but in the real life, he is an unfit because he does not know which is correct. He can only calculate and give the answer, but he cannot take a decision whether to invest in LIC is better, whether to invest in Kisan Vikas Patra is better, or whether to invest in, which is that scheme where after 6 months, 6 years, we get the double, no? What is that policy we take? For saving the tax, all of us take this. What do you call that? Before it was getting doubled in 5 months, now 5 years, now it's getting doubled after.
Fixed deposit, madam. Fixed deposit.
No.
Fixed.
No.
Fixed deposit, madam.
No. I'm talking to a particular scheme which we all buy to avoid tax.
Usually life insurance company ka any of the policy, ma'am.
Not life insurance.
ATC.
No.
Postal RD.
Madam, postal insurance.
No. Postal. Of course, it's not postal insurance, but usually it's issued by postal department.
NSC, madam. National Savings Scheme.
NSC, yes, NSC.
National
Got it?
Savings Scheme.
So whether Kisan Vikas Patra is better or NSC is better or RD is better, all these to take a decision, we need foundational literacy and numeracy. Why I'm telling you is, it is very, very important. You will think of why Kisan Vikas Patra is better than NSC. That is National Savings Scheme, because there is provision in Kisan Vikas Patra to take back the money which is invested, whereas in National Savings Scheme, it is locked for 6 years. It was 5 years before, it is 6 years, some months now, I think. Now, foundational now further reiterates that attaining foundational literacy for all children must become of national importance. Okay, let us see, go to the next. In order to avoid the learning crisis, there will be an increased focus. So we will have to bring changes for taking care of these two aspects. That is, generally on reading, writing, speaking, counting, arithmetic, mathematical thinking throughout the preparatory and middle school curriculum with a robust system of continuous formative and adaptive assessment. Okay, actually why we are stressing is, till now we have focused less on experience, focused more on the marks. Okay, even a child who cannot count correctly can get the marks if he or she by hearts. And the child cannot speak a paragraph, but he cannot speak fluently for 3 or 4 minutes, but he can get the marks by writing in the exam. I don't know whether you have observed this or not, but I have observed. That is why many a time the gold medalist, I'm not saying, in the genuine cases, many a time gold medalist becomes a failure in life, whereas a second class person who has passed with second class becomes a successful person, because this gold medalist has got the marks but not able to put forth the things. Okay, but 1:15 ga 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. Oh, sorry, it's lunch hour, it seems. Next to 1:45 ga. 2 o'clock. Okay, we'll break for lunch. Next session we will continue. Okay.
Okay, madam. Thank you.
Okay,
Is it 1 already or 12:58?
Yes,
No, madam, it's 1 already.
No. Anyway, next session is mine.
Okay, madam.
But whatever discussion we will have, we will try to see that we will have more discussion with respect to the actual learning experiences, which should be given in the classroom or at home. Okay. Think of more experiences. Meet you back at 2 o'clock. It's my session only at 2 o'clock because I have exchanged with Professor Malini. I have a meeting later. Right? Okay, friends. Have good, sumptuous lunch. Bye. Meet you at 2 o'clock.